And greetings everyone. Welcome back to the Soul Citizens. It is Sunday, August 2nd. It is August already. Where did summer go? I guess it's still here in some places, but it feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like I've had a summer at all. But I am here with some summery bright ladies. I am so excited. I've been so pumped up for this particular show of Soul Citizens. As always, we have our illustrious Gigi, GriffinGamingRPG, who is with us. Say hey, G.
Hello. How are we, Soul Citizens?
Oh, I feel good. Somebody threw us a subscription. Thank you, Stellar. We
Is that
appreciate that.
Twitch Prime. That was Twitch Prime. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Way to open up. And we've got two special guests here today. Some people who I've known for quite a while. One a little more than the other, but I've known them for a few years. And if you guys have anything to do with Twitch and streaming, particularly Star Citizen, these faces are probably familiar to you. We have the wonderful and beautiful Miss... Who do I go with? Because I got to say the same thing for both of you now that I've said that now. So
You got the epic Miss
I better
Lala.
not mess up. See, this is why I didn't want to do this show, because I don't want to say anything wrong. So let's start with EpicLaLa, since she's right there. Epic, welcome to this show. Say hey to everybody.
You can do no wrong.
I can do no
And-
wrong? Uh-oh.
Yes, you're good. Thank you for
Don't tell him
inviting
you're
me.
lying.
I'm pretty easygoing. I mean, Fast Cart might come after you.
Oh yeah, and trust me, he will. He if there's anybody who will come after me, it would be Fast Cart. I agree with you 100%.
We've been friends for some years now.
I know.
And thank you so much for having me. And what was your question about if we've had a summer? We have two teenagers. They've been home all summer. Usually
Uh-huh.
they go and do things. And I've been working from home all summer, so it's been
Ooh.
interesting.
It's been different, right? Just
Yeah,
different. We'll say
we
different.
bonded a lot. And
Yeah.
also, they're still alive, so yay.
That's cool. See, I've got you beat. My daughters are in their 20s and they've been home, but that's a total different dynamic. You know what I mean? Because at
I
least
bet.
with teenagers, you still feel some obligation. Mine are grown adults, so that's a whole different thing. You know what I mean? So I know what you mean. Though it is nice to have them home to a certain degree. I'll say that, but I'm just saying that because if they hear me say that, they'll trip out. Anyway, Epic. You and I met several times, and mostly the last time I saw you was when we were in Austin for VerseCon, just a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, right? You and DJ were there and got a chance to talk to you there. Uh-oh, we lost your audio.
Oh, crap.
There you go. I think it's just because you weren't talking in the direction.
Last year.
It's just cutting out a little bit.
I think that was last year.
Yeah,
I
last
think
year.
Thinking about your daughters then.
Yeah, that's right. You guys came in late in the evening. You drove in. You were like, oh, we finally made it. Yep, I remember that, but it was great seeing you guys.
Teachers then too.
Yep,
They're literally with me all the time.
I remember
Right.
that. Yep, you came as a family team when you guys
Boy.
came to VerseCon, which was cool. So cool. And we also have, last but not least, Miss Hartz, the beautiful and wonderful Miss Hartz. She's a faithful follower. She's here with us every Sunday, and we snatched her this week and got her to be on the show. So Miss Hartz, thank you for being here with us. As always, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now, Miss Hartz, I think I met you, the first time I met you was actually 2016. It was at the Test Squadron barbecue when we
SitCon.
were there for SitCon in LA.
Yes.
Yeah, we were
Yes.
all there. Fast Cart was there. A whole bunch of us were there. And we kind of hung out that afternoon. I didn't get to talk to you very much, but I took pictures of you with several people and a bunch of the folks in Test that were there. And we had a real good time. And then I saw you again at VerseCon, if I'm remembering, last year. Yeah.
Last
so you
year.
were there.
Yep.
Yeah, you and Paul and I were all sitting upstairs talking for a little while. So it was very cool. It was good seeing you. Well, guys, as you guys know today, the topic for this show is women in Star Citizen, and it's going to be kind of a broad sweeping subject because we do have these ladies here because they all have had some experience in Star Citizen. And I'd probably say, if I were to go in order, I'd say Epic's been around for a while, but she's been away for a little bit, but she's coming back. Gigi started with, Gigi, you're about a year and a half now into Star Citizen, maybe?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Yeah.
February of last year.
And Miss Hartz, when did you jump in?
I think it's December of 2014.
Ooh, so you're an old veteran like
Fast
the
part
rest
was
of
it
me.
December? Scott knows better than I do. A couple months after Fast Card joined, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So it's been a while.
So you've been around as long as, okay, that's cool. So you're the legacy person in the room then, I guess. You've been around for a little while. Yeah.
I'm also a member of Legacy Fleet, so
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah.
Now
I am a legacy person.
that is awesome. Let's jump into a little bit of before we get into talking about Star Citizen, because Epic brought up a really interesting point when she talked about what are some of the blockers or things for why maybe ladies don't get a chance to play, or when they do play, when they have the opportunity to play the game. And Epic, would you kind of talk a little bit about that? Because you said you had a little different spin on what limits you from being able to get into gaming as much as you would like.
If you can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. To speak up just a little bit. I think what's happening is your limiter is cutting you off, but we can hear you.
To fix my Discord. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But yeah, so for me, I think everyone who knows me knows I'm a professor for my job. Then I have
Yep.
teenagers.
Epic, you're
and then
phasing
I
out.
am like a moderator and supporter, streamer. Am I? Maybe should I just talk right into the mic?
That does help. I think it's because it's cutting it out.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll just do that. I'm gonna be that obnoxious person and just be like. So yeah, what I was saying is I am a mother and a professor and
It's a lot.
for DJ night, and so most of the time that I'm in Star Citizen, it's watching him play.
Okay.
I don't know, to sign into my account and just mess around with the face over IP and being able to like control my face with my face is the most amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been going like for me, why I'm in Star Citizen, people might think it's DJ, but really it's the community.
Mm-hmm.
My best friends that I have now are not the people I know face to face around where I live. It's like the people that I've met really in the Star Citizen community, like Kettle Wife and This Is Liz and Techno Kitty and Bad News Baron and Sassy, who's his wife now. So I am in this community, and of course Fast Cart. But I'm in this community because the people here are just so amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of really awesome sci-fi games, space and sci-fi games. But I'm in this community because of the people, and also what I teach is computer science and simulation. So obviously I'm in it on the sideline to like be able to have some kind of clout with my students. So when they want to talk about something, I'm like, oh yeah, that like the number one Kickstarter game. Yeah, you want to talk about that? Let's talk about that. How can you make a game that people talk shit about this much and you get so rich and famous, even if people are shitting on you all the time?
Okay. Gigi, you had a perspective too about time and what it takes to get into gaming for you. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, just I work the night shift for the culinary industry, which means I am sleeping all day and then working all night because I have to be like up at noon to get ready to go, and I have to be, made up and all of that. So it takes time to get ready. It's like a 2-hour process to get ready for work, and then an hour and a half to get to work. And then honestly, if I'm not working, I probably have my nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
So making time to play video games is not an easy feat.
Yeah.
And then when I do have free time, I probably just want to sleep. I don't really want to play video games. Like I don't want to do stuff, I'm exhausted and I want to watch Netflix and drink wine.
Okay, fair enough. And Ms. Hartz, you were sharing something that you were getting started with, the kind of time-wise is starting to take your time, right?
Yes. I cover up some info here.
There we go.
Starting my own business.
Cool.
So
Congrats.
it's actually technically already started, and I should have the last hurdle other than funding. So
okay. Who needs funding? Who needs funding, Ms. Hartz? Who needs funding?
I know. Well, I would kind of like to pay myself. I kind of want to quit the day job.
Right.
I don't pay myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been taking up a little bit of time.
Yeah. Now let me ask each one of you, Gigi. Let me go back to Epic. Epic, how did you get into gaming just in general? What introduced you into video games?
So now you're trying to see how old I am.
I think I'm older.
I have like a 2-minute story that says so much about me entirely, not just about this part, but the rest of my life, which is when I was 7, my best friend had an Atari,
Okay.
and I didn't. And she would play Pac-Man and Frogger, and whenever she died, she would give me the controller. She owned the Atari, and I visited, so she would play for like 10 minutes, and then I would play and die in like So I'm like, this sucks. I like this game. I never get to play it. So I asked my parents for an Atari for Christmas that year. They bought me a freaking computer and said, if you want to play games, you can make them.
Ooh.
Hey, now,
cool.
I mean, yeah, my parents are badass and really smart, but I was pretty pissed and still salty about it. I do now have a computer science PhD, so I mean, I did the right thing. But still, I just wanted a fucking Atari.
Frustrating when you're a kid and you just want a freaking video game sit still.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's awesome for this person that I am now, but back then, for years, I was like sitting here, stupid computer connected to this like giant TV, like I can make the screen turn green.
We're doing
music and stuff. I'm like, this is not
colors.
Yeah, I'm like, for a while I was like, I must just be really stupid because the people who made Frogger with a computer, and I have a computer, and I can't make Frogger. It's just going to with myself. But so yeah, I've been a gamer since I can remember. My dad taking me to the arcades, play pinball and all that stuff. So, and then with the Nintendo and the Sega, and my parents never did. I'm not kidding. My parents never did buy me. So the entire time growing up, I was always that person who's like, okay, now I'm playing Mario at my friend's house, and now I'm dead. So now I get to hog all of the stuff, and I actually have my own PS4 in the living room, even though DJ has his in his studio. Mine, I don't have to share it. I can play as much as I want. The melting has its payoffs.
That's very cool.
Girl.
Very,
I'm
very
not
cool.
even sure if I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's what introduced you to it. Yeah, absolutely. What about you? What introduced you into video gaming?
Okay, so I grew up a tomboy.
Mhm.
I grew up on a farm. I'm like literally the farm girl come to the big city story. Okay, let's not talk about it. I had a little cousin named DeAndre who had a video game system, and my parents were point blank like, you are not getting one. Shout out EpicLaLa. So he had Mortal Kombat, and I would go over and play Mortal Kombat like every single weekend, and I would kick his butt in Mortal Kombat with Sonya or Liu Kang. So that was it, really. I loved Mortal Kombat, and then after Mortal Kombat, I was like, yeah, I'm good at this. Let's do this.
Okay.
I like this.
That was your introduction. And what were you playing on console? Was it on console you were playing it on?
Yeah, console.
Okay, console. Okay, all right, cool. Ms. Hartz, you get to wrap this one up. How did you get into the whole gaming? Oh, no, you didn't. Wow.
This is actually my original Nintendo controller.
Really? Oh my god.
You can
Look
see
at it.
where it got too close to the radiator and kind of melted. So every once in a while, I'll actually stream old Nintendo games because I got an adapter.
Yeah.
So I could plug it into the computer.
So cool.
That is
cool. Nintendo. My stepdad's friend got a Nintendo. I think I was like 6, and brought it over one time playing Duck Hunt and Mario Brothers. And I could not get enough of it. And I think it was for my birthday or for Christmas. I don't know if my parents got it for me or my grandma got it for me, but someone got me a Nintendo. I still have the original in the other room. And yeah, Nintendo and Game Boy was the only thing I played for years. Unless I went over to my grandparents' house, they had an Atari computer. But that was just like a weekend a month. So it was mostly Nintendo and Game Boy. I have my, oh no, it's not my original Game Boy because that got broken. I have my second Game Boy.
The infamous
So I've kept
Game
all of
Boy.
it. I still play all of it. So
that's very, very cool.
My sister actually saved up all her allowance for 2.5 months and bought that Nintendo system that you have. And that was the only thing we touched, right? Like, played it, Super Mario Brothers 3. We played it until we like would have to like press it up and down the game cartridge in the machine and like blowing it. We would.
You had to spin your girlfriend. I got a Game Genie because if you plug it into the Game Genie and put it in, it works better.
Yeah. All these cool tips, crazy.
So most of my friends did not play video games. That was something I did by myself at home a lot.
Just go back for a minute to this idea of dominating men in games because I like it. Because when you said that at GG, it reminded me when I was like a teenager, like a late teenager, an adult teenager. I used to go to arcades and play like Street Fighter and things like that, and just the joy of being able to put in some quarters and have someone look at me like, "Oh, it's sick. I'm gonna go knock her off this game so we can play." And then just kicking their monkey asses. Oh my god. Coming back and get frustrated and stuff, and it was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, be in the top 10 adrenaline things.
Literally, my high school career, I spent it playing Guitar Hero, right? Like every single day. I would play Guitar Hero for hours. It was all I would do. Expert, everything, 100%. And we took the game to my friend's house, and this guy swore up and down he was gonna stomp all over me, and I'm like, we played Metallica, and I had him go first. Go ahead, Metallica, your way through it. Let's show me how good you are. And then I played on expert and crushed him. And it was just like, oh, and it was just wonderful. Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it girls versus boys, but just that moment, we can collaborate and work together. But like, I don't feel like that about just regular people, but the ones who just look at you and they're like, "You're a girl. You must not know."
Yeah, it's not necessarily a girls versus boys thing. It's after the
thing.
Yeah. After they have delegitimized us because we're girls, so we're not going to be as good. That's when we got to show them.
Yep. That's when I'm like, oh, now I'm going to murder you. Deal with that.
That's so good.
Let me ask you guys a question then, because this brings to a point here. You said you don't want to make it about boys against girls, and I get what you mean by that. But, you know, the gaming industry is pretty much dominated in the sense of men, right? I mean, in the sense of most games that are created by, and maybe even the emphasis leans more toward men than women. How do you deal with that? I mean, in the sense of, and I'm not talking about the industry per se, but, you know, what are some of the things that male players may say or do that kind of move you from being just another gamer to being a female gamer? What are those things that sometimes guys will do that kind of maybe drive you a little crazy, you know? Kind of like how mansplaining is, you know what I mean? What are things when you're playing a game? Go ahead, MzHartz.
Sorry. So it was 1.3 patch when I was doing really good. That's probably when I played my best in Star Citizen. And was invited to join the secret elite organization of all the best fighters. And I thought I qualified. I was in the top 10 at the time. I thought I was being invited in because I was good. And then yeah. So then later, another woman was invited in who doesn't dogfight. Which is fine. But this is a dogfighting organization. So I'm like, am I missing something? And they're like, oh, we thought you guys would be bait so that you can draw people in and then we'll kill them. You don't have to worry. We'll protect you. Left. I'm like, no, I will protect myself. Yep. I left immediately.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. When guys say that, Are guys just kind of jumping onto the white horse thing when they say that, or is it that they feel that you're not capable, or are they trying to hit on you?
6 of one
Does
and
it
half a
does
dozen of the other.
Yeah, a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah.
Guy. Some are trying to say I've got your back and not doing a very good job of it. This guy, obviously, because of the way he went about it, thought that I wasn't good enough. And then there are definitely ones that it doesn't matter how the match goes, you'll still get a private message afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. We can talk about that too. Why don't you open that door? Well, let's let the other two ladies talk, and then open that door, because you're going to open up a serious Pandora's box when we go there. So, whoever wants it, Gigi or Epic.
Gigi, because I feel like Steve and I are going to go in a different direction, and her always more with me.
Okay. So for me, this sounds terrible, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but when I'm playing video games, specifically when I'm playing, I put men into 3 different categories. There is the guy who wants to like treat you like a Mary Sue, like you need him to hold your hand through the video game. He's going to explain and over-explain every single thing to you as if you are somehow not intelligent enough to read and understand. There's the cheerleader who can't believe that there's a chick in the video game, and he's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? What can I give you? Do you role play? I just want to be around you. I just want to, oh my God, you're a girl. You're a real girl. I've never seen a girl before. And then there's just the normal dude who's just playing a video game and is like, hey, like, what's up? You want to play? And if you don't, he minds his business and goes off on his own. Those are the people I tend to look for, but I don't come across them often.
Gigi, you were telling me some story about some guy when you were at Port O or something, and the guy was trying to friend you or invite you
Oh
or
man,
something.
okay, so I wasn't at Port O. It was Invictus Week, so I was out, checking out the F8 and the Idris and watching all the celebrations and everything. And I'm running back inside, and this guy is out there because he was watching too, and he sends me a friend request. Now I don't know him, so I denied it. And he sent me 6 more friend requests back to back to back. Until I was just like, dude, leave me alone. Like, no, I don't know you. And that's not the kind of person I am. I don't want to interact with you, strange person. Leave me alone. And I'm just really glad that he didn't have the ability to DM me, because I'm sure I would have got one.
Epic, did you have something on that thought?
I mean, for me, I was going to say, I guess something that did kind of go with what Gigi was saying. Because most of my experience has been, I mean, every now and then you hear like an assault guy, because of that, I don't have my mic on when I play games, and obviously, but very often I get that kind of cheerleader person who's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're a woman who plays games. And for me, since I teach computer science, it has worked in my favor, because I am the professor who's also a gamer, and most of my students are men. And so it's like, oh, this professor who's also a gamer, she's so cool, she's so awesome. And I mean, professionally, it's a little different because I'm considerably older than my students. So, like, have the whole they're trying to hit on me kind of thing for the most part. It's just kind of really validating. But it's also kind of weird that they're just like so surprised. But I have to say, I wrote an article about this a couple years ago when I first started getting into the Twitch community and the start of this. I didn't realize how many people like women on this stream, how many women like us there are, because I didn't have friends like this. Like I said, most of my good friends I've met through Star Citizen. So I didn't like this. These are my people, and I don't see them if I'm not gaming. Even like now and then you can see someone with like purple. Wonder she might be. She might not. She might just be a blonde person who's not her hair. But like every now and then I'll meet someone and I'll be like, oh, like something will come up and they'll say, or I'll like have some gaming clothes on and I'll be like, oh, is that like, a Dead Sex shirt or whatever? Like, he's like, are you a gamer? and you're a beautiful woman. This is interesting. I like it. Let's be friends. But it's just it's not as common as I'd like. And I think the other thing really quickly I'd like to say is, like, while we think about gamers as dominated by men, there is that whole thing where there's actual stats on gaming actually being pretty equally divided and maybe even skewing towards women if you include casual games, like what we were talking about before, about women who largely, like, have a pretty healthy relationship. Like right now, DJ's really, and I'm doing this. But a lot of women are in relationships where they have a job, take care of the kids, they also cook and clean, and kiss their significant others behind. So yeah, all they have time to do is maybe play Hearthstone or Candy Crush, and then I'm like, I'm not really a gamer. And so, if you like playing games, and you would play games if you had time, you're at least a gamer light. But I think that's maybe back to the gender thing. The thing that bothers me the most is that classification. Like when you tell someone, especially when you're a woman and you see your gamer, well, what do you play? Like, are you a gamer? It's like, don't get to say. So I get to say if I'm a gamer. Oh, so if I start with, yeah, I play Candy Crush. Oh, you're not a gamer. Well, I also play Mortal Kombat, Star Citizen, and Elite Dangerous. I play PC, PS4, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, old school game console. I'm a gamer now. And who the fuck are you to tell me whether or not I'm a gamer? But a lot of students who are like, a lot of women will be like, I'm not really a gamer. I'm like, you don't own a game, like you don't even have Candy Crush. Oh, I have that. Okay, so maybe you're kind of a little bit of a gamer.
Yeah, I feel you on that because I the most that I get to is the cheerleady type of people, and there is how can I, it's very weird because you know that they are coming from it with good intention, but
Yeah.
it's like this idea that holy crap, you're a girl and you know how to do things. Like that's not a compliment to me. You know what I mean? Like you're not complimenting me by telling me what are you reassuring me of the fact that I'm intelligent? I know that already. I went to college. I know. I'm fully aware. I don't need you to reiterate my successes to me. Just play the game with me if that's what you want to do. But all the rest of this is unnecessary and it's uncomfortable. And now I don't want to speak to you.
Admiral asked the question down there, Gigi. I think you can answer that. You see it in chat?
I have Scum. I've played it exactly one time because I was so frustrated in it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to break my computer.
Yeah, it's gotten better now. It was really buggy back in the day, so it's gotten better. But Scum is an interesting game. Let me say something to you guys. I know it seems like you gave allowance for the guys. I know Gigi did allowance for the men who do approach you in the game and say something nice, and you don't take offense to it, right? And I'm sure some of that maybe comes from the vibe you get from them. Because I know when I see a woman in a game or if I hear a woman in a game, I'm actually excited because it's like, wow, it's great to have women here finally because I'm tired of looking at all these dudes. You know, that's how I feel. I mean, Gigi will tell you, I've always played female and male characters. I'm sick of seeing guys all the time running around in the universe. So I'm like complimentary. I'm not saying I'm going to go over and do flourishes, but I am like quietly happy when I hear a woman in the game. And let's lead this into Star Citizen since we're kind of leading into that. And maybe Ms. Hartz, I know a few years back you were with a group that did a show called Diverse, and you guys were bringing this whole subject of women in Star Citizen with CIG. How was that received? And I don't remember how many years ago it was, so you may have to kind of let us know where it was in the time machine. Because it was at an interesting time with the development of CIG too.
It was 4 years. It was 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was before. That was around the time the female model was originally supposed to be out.
Right.
And it was received two different ways, depending on where you look. In chat, on Twitch, and mostly on Twitter, it was received well. We had a good audience. People really looked forward to it. But then on like Reddit and some of the other places, we got a lot of flack.
Reddit is a cesspool. I don't know why y'all went there. Please continue.
We didn't, but other people posted it to try and get more interest. And So I have 2 women in Star Citizen experiments I've done. One that I think worked great and one that didn't work as great. And Diverse First was one that didn't work as great, not just from the female perspective. But the title was terrible, apparently. I came up with the title and got so much flack from it. Because if we're all women, how are we diverse?
Diversity's not even thing.
Yeah. Like, here's the point. And there was a lot of I've learned to never use the word safe space. People don't like that word. You'll get made fun of if you use that word. And just a lot of stuff like that. Of course, there was also the whole getting scheduling together for everyone to be there at the same time, which is ultimately kind of how it faded away. Just trying to get, in the end, I think it was 4 of us that were on the regular schedule plus a guest, all coordinated at one time. Was pretty hard.
I remember around that time, that was when baby, oh God, what was the baby's name? The couple that had the little baby and they named their baby after their names. Oh my God, he always posts stuff for us. I'll think of it in a minute. But one of the ladies had just had a baby and we did a big fundraiser for them. Remember?
Are you doing that, Nighthawk?
Yes, Baby Hawk. Yes, Baby Hawk.
Yeah,
you guys had them on the show and everything. Yeah, I mean, I used to love watching the show. And
Gosh, we had her on a couple times. Yep.
Yeah, that was so awesome. I love that.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. Now you talked about that, and I remember that time around 2016. That was around the time when we had already seen something on the female avatar, like maybe a year before that. But it was this delay. It was taking a while, and I was having this conversation with Gigi earlier, and I kind of have a 50-50 feeling about how the whole female thing got introduced. There's a part of me that says, and this is in all gaming, right? By default, they went to the men first, right? They created the male character. That's just what the industry does, right? I did one of the things that I did. Oh, hey, Shadow Valorian, by the way, thank you for the follow earlier. I forgot to tell you that. And DJ, thank you for the host. We appreciate that. I wonder if there's some favor here because we have somebody on the show, but that's awesome. So let me ask you this. I thought it was very cool. And Gigi, thank you. Asuna, thank you for the follow. I did appreciate, there was one particular show, and you may remember this, when they said that they were being very specific about working on the female model because in most games, all they do is put a female head on the body, but all the clothing and everything else, they just pretty much, it's basically just throw men's stuff over a female body. They don't put any real work into it. It took them a long time to do it. Do you think that over time, and I know it didn't come out on time, but do you think that they were making a genuine effort? Because I know they went back and recut mocap for the women, so that they didn't use a male body for the mocap? Or do you think that maybe this should have been something that just said from the very beginning, if you want to draw women into the game, you should have figured out a way to at least make it seem like you were doing that? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Appreciate the effort they put into it, but it didn't always feel like bringing a woman avatar into the game was a high priority. It was something that kind of came and went. Like it wasn't on every single update. You didn't hear about it a whole lot until you started getting more complaints, and then they would address it and say, doing this stuff, totally working on this. It kind of felt like not an afterthought, but not a top priority.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of women that we used to see as content creators that were into Star Citizen, that were putting out stuff a lot. And over the last, like you said, maybe 4 years, a lot of them have faded away. There are still a few, and I think you're one of the few that's still here. We have gotten some new ones, like Tessa D and some other folks who are coming on board now. But I have to wonder whether or not those ladies that were in game back then maybe would have hung around a little bit more if they felt, like you said, that there was some priority and them being a focal point of the game. And I mean, even as an observer myself, I kind of felt like, even when I wanted to tell females about the game, and I know how I am as an African American, if there wasn't a black skin in there, I would be like kind of, I'd be a little salty. And I'm just keeping it real. So I can imagine as a woman having to play a guy's character all the time, which I think guys don't think about because it's such a common thing. You know, is that a factor for you? Is that something that draws you into a game, or you really don't care as long as you can have fun, you know, whatever? And anybody can answer that. Any of you ladies can answer that.
I seek inclusion in whatever I'm doing. Specific, just for me, if I feel like an afterthought. Why would I give my time and energy to your thing? And that's anything. I'm not going to put time and energy that I don't have a lot of into something that makes me feel like I'm not really worthy of it in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I love Star Citizen, but it took them 2 years to put out a female avatar. And we still don't have clothes we can wear, really. Unless it's blatantly pink, it's not feminine by any stretch.
Server at Olive Garden.
Right,
I hate that one.
Like, what? And I'll take it one for you. As a brown woman who is of a fairer skin, there is no skin for me in Star Citizen. I either have to look like a tan white lady or a very dark black lady. There is no skin that looks like mine in Star Citizen.
I mean,
and it's frustrating.
For me, I totally agree. I will kind of take a step back and say, just like Gigi, I do seek inclusion, and I don't even think I ever thought of it as that. But I just like to even remember any game that has people like that, like character choices, like back to the arcade, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter. It's like I am Akemi, or I'm. There's still not a lot of African American women in this game, but I'm like Jackson's daughter. So I do seek that. It doesn't exactly turn me off, but kind of like what Gigi said, I don't have a lot of time to game, so I'm just not pulled in. And I do remember the first CitizenCon I went to, the one in LA 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and there's this long line around hall where it was happening, and I was talking to women in line, and I'm like, why aren't there women? And they were all like, yeah, I don't know, there needs to be women. So this thing is not, but to be considered. Having been to people, I do get the impression that they're largely motivated by the bigger tier backers, and I think those are maybe entirely men. So that might happen, but I don't know.
That's a good point.
I don't know. What do you guys think that has something to do with it?
She was saying that most of the bigger tier
backers. I don't think
backers.
it's anything that they've done on purpose. I think that it's not something that's standardized in gaming.
Right.
So they didn't even think from the start, oh yeah, we should put women in this. Until women started playing and they had women developers, and they're like, hey, where's the girl? And they're like, yeah.
And let's talk about the fact that if maybe they had more women developers, this might not have been an issue. Y'all male dominate the people who are making the games, and then wonder why we don't get female things in the games, just because nobody's there who's on our side. There's nobody there fighting for us in the board meetings. It's all men in the board meetings.
Now, as of now, there are a lot of women working at games. So it's definitely, and I think as they have gotten more, what's the word I'm looking for, not innovative, but as they focused more on the female characters and being more inclusive, I think that draws more women talent. More content creators, more developers.
I think you're right. I mean, I didn't mean to say, like, I think it was malicious. I just mean to say money motivates people. And so if the big people who are the big backers are like, hey, I want to see a new ship. Because I was at one of those things, and like, what do you guys want to see? A bunch of men. And I was just there because DJ was there. They come too. It's like, there's a bunch of men, and they're like, these are things we want to see. And this group of men who are large backers of the game, we're not like, I would like to see a woman. Even now, what I hear from Griffin is that he would like to see women. So maybe we should just remind even everyone they should be asking. But it wasn't that they were like, we don't want to see. We want a new ship. I want, to be able to walk on the land. I mean, things like that. I want to be about what the gender is. And I've even had conversations generally when I have conversations with men about, it doesn't matter. I don't mind. I could play a woman. It doesn't matter. I can play a woman.
But it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. To your point.
Honestly,
go ahead.
I care more about being a female character when I am playing a massive multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If it's something that I'm playing single player, I don't care as much. I mean, I still, if there's a female character, that's who I'm going to pick. But if I'm playing competitively or in a big open universe, I want to be able to represent myself.
You went exactly to what my next question was, because I was thinking about when Epic was talking about playing Mortal Kombat. When you're taking on the role of some other character, that's one thing. But I know me, I hate to say this, but when I'm making my avatar, I'll spend freaking 30 minutes making my avatar. I really will, you know? And so
See,
something that
almost.
claims itself to be immersive, where I'm trying to put myself in that world, then obviously,
Exactly.
yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense that that's what you want to do. You know, that makes perfect sense. Okay, ladies, we're going to play a game here. And you guys are all familiar with when people have reaction videos on YouTube, right? So we're gonna we're gonna give you guys some reaction videos to the development of Star Citizen. Okay, so what I want you to do is take a look here and tell me. And this is basically all of the faces right now, the different ethnicities in the game. We're not gonna talk about hair. That's why I made them all bald. We're not going to talk about, but we are going to talk about, do you feel that these are good representations? Now, take into consideration, we know that this is still in its like second or third iteration. They're still doing more to develop characters so that you can have more control. But do you feel like they've reflected well in the different ways that races come up here? And have you, when you've monkeyed around with the toggle switches and tried to create your character, is there enough flexibility for you? Or is it like, now I can never really get what I want, you know, when I'm making a character?
I will never get what I want making a character a Star Citizen. I spend 30 to 45 minutes every single time. Like I said, there is no such thing as my color. Right, you know, like there's no such thing as my color. There's no such thing as my lip shape. Like a lot of it is just, it's not going to happen, frankly.
Or at least not with the engine that we have now.
Not with what we have. That's what I mean. But
Okay.
with what we have right now, it's,
Okay.
and then there's no makeup. Like y'all see me on here, I am consistently painted, like proudly, you know what I mean? But there's no makeup. You have to be natural. And I'm just like, but none of that is me. None of that is me. Like I'm looking at this, and I'd probably be the second one down, would be the closest one to me on the left.
Okay.
But she looks more like a Middle Eastern lady. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't look like a fair-skinned black lady.
Gotcha. Okay. Ladies, which one would you pick? EpicLaLa, anybody, or MzHartz? Which one would you think is closest to where you would start with these heads here? Any of them?
Oh God. Always start with what the default is, which I think is actually the Asian lady in the corner.
Yep.
I'm very much not Asian, but so I see where CIG is going with the way that the character customization works. That you're not always going to be one character. You are going to have children. You're going to pass your traits down. And so it's kind of more focused on that traits part of thing. But I do wish that when you first started out, it was a little more defined. Like, if I want my eyes to be more round, I want to just be able to pick eyes and say go rounder, not try to pick another head and compare and contrast. And so I think part of the reason I can never get to something that I think looks like me is just kind of the clunkiness of the engine. Yeah, not necessarily the lack of choices, because I don't think any of these heads really is going to sit with many women out of the box, and I don't think they're supposed to. You're supposed to go in and customize. But I wish that the customize, at least for your initial character, was a little easier to do.
Ow! Saffronaut, thank you for the subscription. We appreciate that. Epic, what about you? Anything here catch your eye, or are you like, ugh? Oh, thank you, DJ, for the prime.
On the right.
One on the right.
Thank you, DJ Knight, for the subscription.
Yeah.
But no, the middle one on the right.
Middle one on the right. Okay.
We picked, and I guess I haven't had a ton of luck with character creation that I have had. Whenever I get a game that has great character creation, like I feel like Black Ops 4. In fact, I think I mostly did. But in Star Citizen, it's not there yet. I kind of imagine the future of Star Citizen, if I'm honest. I'm hoping that be super excessively optimistic, but I'm kind of hoping that this is the game that makes us able to go into Ready Player One Oasis. So I think because all of the attention to so many details they have, that I just kind of feel other games that I've seen making much more extensive creators. But Star Citizen is definitely capable of it, and that's just not where it to be right now. So I'm looking forward to it, and I of course have DJ always timing and his streams in the back of my mind. Game still in not even alpha. It's still way in development. So I don't have super high expectations. I would like to see a better creator, but I am happy with what we do.
Awesome. Stellar Valkyrie, thank you for those 3 gift subs. We really appreciate that. And Phaedrus, thank you for the follow. Oh, wow. Gladestone, thank you. Thank you guys for the subs. Thank you. Ladies, you got to come back. Oh, my God. Got to have you back. Oh, my God.
Get all the women on the screen and you get the sub.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, we're hitting it. Oh, look at this. We're hitting it. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Hartz. So sweet of you. That's okay. Hey, that's all right. Hey, listen, I'm loving it. All right. Okay, so those were and someone here, I was going to quote something that Sergeant Steak said, if I can find it. I'm sorry, Sarge. You made a really cool point here a couple seconds ago. And I think we've talked about this. It says we need independent sliders for each category, as well as a blending slider of all the games ever played with inform that type of creation. We know we've seen other games that have much better engines when it comes to being able to customize your character. So again, CIG is getting there. I know it's a little frustrating because it's frustrating even for me. But that's where we're at. Let's move on to the next one here. And Gigi, you kind of touched on this a little bit, and that was talking about skin color. I guess my question here again, is it the same problem? Is it the same thing that you can't blend the way you want? I know they've got a variety of colors here, but what do you think?
Yeah, like if I could blend probably those 3, the column right down the middle, I'd be able to manage my own skin color. But the reason, like Sergeant Steak said, we don't have that ability right now because we don't have the independent sliders. So all we are doing is blending characters together rather than just going up and down with the shades. For me, it's frustrating because Star Citizen is so good at doing so many things. I feel like this is something so simple that they could do and it really not have to. There is nothing. You can't tell me that you can make an 890 jump, but then creating a freaking slider for skin color is hard. Do you know what I mean? Like y'all put rivets and stuff and there's water on the floors at R-Corp dripping out of pipes, but we can't get like colors, skin colors. You can't tell me that that's a hard thing to do. So it's frustrating because I'm like, dude, just do it. Yeah. Y'all got 300 million of our dollars. Do it, bro.
Yeah. And I think Ms. Hartz hit it on the head earlier when she said that it's about priority, not about ability. You know, and I think that the voice has to, and Ms. Hart, you said this earlier, when the community barked a little bit more about it, it did, and I remember when people were barking about it back in the day. It has been really quiet over the last few years, and I think maybe because some people got placated because they said, well, there's something in there. But and I'm going to show you guys another piece. We'll get into this about clothing and stuff in a couple of seconds. But
I think also, like what you said about the prioritization of it, yeah, and you mentioned at the very beginning that Ms. Hartz has been in the community for a while, and I've been in the community for a while, but I left kind of like I left Star Citizen, still in the community of people, but in gameplay, I played maybe 3 hours in the last. So I think maybe the barking that you're talking about, the people just stopped hearing. Like a lot of the people because disengaged.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Very good point. All right, we're going to go on to the more daring areas here. More reaction here from the ladies. We've got a lot more of these. This is where we get into the hairstyles. And if I'm remembering correctly, and Ms. Hart, you may have to correct me, I thought that they said that when they were making the hairstyles that they were quote-unquote unisex hairstyles. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but even as a guy, I can't find a hairstyle I like. So
Nobody can.
So ladies,
That's around the board. That's male and female. It's terrible.
Give credit with the hairstyles that they haven't put all the tech in yet that they're needed to do hairstyles. The same reason we don't have skirts or long hair. That they just haven't figured that out yet. And I know I've had the thing where the hair sticks through the helmet and that sort of thing. So I will give them that it's limited because that tech isn't in game yet.
Do you see any style here that you like on this? There's more coming, believe me. This is only the first 9. There's another 8 to look at.
No, I've never liked any of them.
Not any of them. Ruby Rod from the Fifth Element.
Which one, Epic?
And so you could be like if you did that kind of maybe that middle one. You could be like Ruby Rod, Fifth Element.
Yeah.
But even to the bottom right one, like if you want to be
the bottom right green haircut.
I always pick the middle, the bottom center.
Gigi, what did you say about that one that's number on the middle to the left?
Talk to me about that. No,
who did you say that reminded you of?
Aggravates my soul. It looks like Edna Mode. We are not in The Incredibles. It should not even be a thing. Like,
you're cutting out. Don't yell too loud. You're cutting yourself out. You guys bring your voice down a little.
It's awful. Like that looks like quarantine bangs. You got bored and tried to do your hair for yourself, and you chopped your bangs.
Oh my god.
Oh god, that's too funny.
It's bad.
DJ Knight said no capes. I know, dude. I'm like a Lando thing. They got to get capes in this game with that flowing material stuff. I agree. All right, ladies, that's the first set. You got another set coming here to take a look at. Now, maybe there's some redemption here. Anything there? Someone saw the mohawk in the upper left there. Anything in there worth looking at?
LOL.
Was that LOL or SOL? I'm not sure which one you were trying to say.
LOL. At the hairstyles.
Epic, anything grab you out of those, or are they just kind of like,
There.
I mean, I kind of like the undercut. Like the last one isn't so bad, but they trash.
Miss Hartz, nothing's
I think
grabbing you.
Easier on this. So I mean, I don't expect much. So when you start with low expectations.
You don't get your feelings hurt. Is that what you're saying?
Placeholders right now, so
yeah.
Is the most outrageous one that everyone else isn't picking? Yeah. Go with that.
It is interesting that there are some people that when they go in the game, whenever there's a reset, they don't even deal with any of this, right? They just hit the character and just jump into the game. And then there are those other people who literally do spend time trying to create something. And I know that, as you mentioned, the game is still in development. We know it's just one of the iterations. They're not there completely. But in a way, I do agree with Gigi that if they want people to start feeling more a part of the game, I think that this, both for men and women, that they need to put a little more focus on it. It's been a little while since we've seen a decent update to this area. And I would like to see, because I know there are people who want to do even body shapes and sizes. Now, admittedly, their character generator is, the way they've got characters with the sense of clothing laying over clothing and stuff is totally different than any other game. So it does take a lot more work to develop, being able to change even the physical size of your body. But they are adding a lot of variety into the game, which leads us to this big problem. And ladies, you may have been familiar with this one. How many times have you gone to the rack, you see something that you like, and then you put it on, and you get the ugly default jacket that goes on top of it, right? And this happens with a few of the men's clothing, but I spent this last week just going to the store and looking to see what I could put on in a female avatar's body. And I hate to say this, only about 30% of the clothing, maybe 25% of the clothing in the game, not only doesn't fit women, but it doesn't even look like whatever is on the wall. You get that ugly default jacket that pops up. Now, do you care about this right now? Or just nothing on the wall draws your attention, so you're not going to change clothes anyway? What do you think?
I would like to see two things. First of all, if there is anyone in the community that has made a directory of what stores you can get what female clothing at, that would be awesome.
That would be.
But if they would just add like maybe a little asterisk next to the description in the console when you're looking through, if you can't wear it, you want to click on it.
Mm.
And I'm so sick of going to a store and just going through all the jackets like, nope, you can't wear any of these. But I didn't know that until I clicked on every single one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Admiral, to your point, and I'm glad you said that. Admiral Kusanagi said that there's great outfits in Microtech, but that's also because Microtech did every piece of clothing in Microtech will fit the female avatar because it's the newer stuff. But any place else in the universe, if you go to R-Corp, you go to Hurston, you go to Port Olisar, Levski, all that stuff's jacked up. And of course, the further back you go, the less stuff actually works on the characters. So maybe it'll be something that they will eventually update, but they keep doing these, putting out new clothes and putting out stuff, but it's still not, for the female avatar, it's still a big issue. Epic, were you going to say something about the clothing thing?
I was just going to say personalization is part of what motivates me to play them. So I haven't really thought about it much until this conversation, but I do think I would be much more likely, bedazzle my
Yeah.
Right. Like,
because I like to interact with people. Like, I'm a social gamer. I like to interact with people and being represented in a way that I guess represents me is important.
GG, what about you as far as clothing? Do you see stuff you do like, or nothing up there really draws your attention, or when you do find something, it's like, can't get to even wear it?
I've really only seen a few pieces that I even liked enough to bother with, and anything that I've seen is default when I put it on. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I've just stopped going to clothing stores. I don't go. I just, whatever is the default that comes with it is just what I wear, and I don't bother because I'm not gonna like it, or I'm not gonna get what I do like. So what's the point?
Let me ask you
Now,
this.
the good thing,
Yeah.
armor does come in, the armor and the flight suits does come in both men's and women's. So a lot of times I'll go customize my flight suit and don't even look at my civvies because I can get something I want in a flight suit and armor as opposed to, regular clothing.
By the way, these armors are purple only because I like purple. I wasn't trying to be funny or anything, but just so you know. But I brought this up because of your point that at least they did do the body shaping for the armor, and when it's on a woman's body, it looks like a woman. It's unlike a lot of other games where it's male armor over a female body.
And also, I will say something that made me very, very proud is when they made armor for females, they bypassed tit cups. Because anything you want to piss me off, put tit cups on armor. I will not play your game. So I was very happy about that because tit cups are stupid and they mean nothing. They make no sense. So I was like, oh, cool. Regular armor that fits a woman, and they're not like boobs for dudes to look at in video games.
As I said earlier, I don't want to say anything to get me in trouble, so I'll let you all talk about that subject if you like. I'm not saying anything. Okay.
I see all the time, right? Like, would you have even been able to find an armorer who would waste time and material in armor? Like, how much work would that be?
Wait a minute, this armor's not finished. I knew I forgot something.
That. Like, you measure the
right. And not only that, but the tit cups usually mean that all of this part of you is completely exposed, right?
Yeah.
Which means, what is the point in the armor? If I'm showing cleavage, why am I wearing armor? What is the defeat of the purpose?
That's a very good question and a very good point. Let me ask this now. I want to go back to something that you guys mentioned earlier. I think Ms. Hartz might have mentioned it. Someone inferred about DMs. Can you guys share a little bit about that? Because one of the things I'm hoping that this show will do today is, of course, highlight some of the things that we've talked about. But I think as a male gamer, I approach the game, when I sit down to play the game, there are certain things that I don't have to deal with or I don't think about, right? But there are some things that women in gaming deal with that we just don't deal with. So can you guys give some enlightenment with this whole DM piece you're talking about?
Yeah. Yes.
Not say it's a bad thing, because a lot of times it's just men excited to see women in games. But when you show up, if there is some way for them to send you messages, you get a lot of them. And like when a guy often goes to think about, and I'm generalizing here, goes to think about, I have an hour to play a game. So I sign in, play the game for an hour, sign out, go on with my life. A lot of times, I have an hour to play a game. I go in, play the game for an hour, and spend the next hour responding to messages.
Girl,
you
do it. I don't
Don't answer them. But
now let me ask you this, Ms. Hartz. You're pretty well known in the community. Are they responding to you because they know it's you, or are they responding to you because you're a woman, or is it a little bit of both?
it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think people know me in the community because I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the whole girl means guy in real life thing. So I think when people see a female avatar in game, they don't necessarily assume it's a woman, unless you get on voice comms. There's sometimes a reason not to get on voice comms.
Yep.
And part of it is because people know me, so they want to send me messages after they've seen me in game and that sort of thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me ask, go ahead, Gigi.
It's so bad that I just don't even check my DMs in video games anymore.
Yeah, I mean, most just don't even respond.
Not even respond. I don't even check anymore, because when I say hundreds upon hundreds, it's frustrating, and it's like I don't have the patience for that, y'all. And then like 9 out of 10 times for me, it's some guy saying something really disgusting because he found out I was a girl.
Yeah.
I think
the ones I get are positive, but it's just overwhelming.
Right. But see, I'm not known in the video game community, so nobody's reaching out to me just because they've heard my name before and they're like, oh cool, I hung out with Gigi, you know what I mean? Like, most dudes in my inbox are like, I had a guy tell me he wanted to pump me full of his thick Italian spunk in my inbox. Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh. And I get a lot of this across any platform.
Other games. I think Star Citizen is more positive messages than other games. It's worse.
It's much better in Star Citizen than literally any other game I've played. Because there is no direct message function in Star Citizen right now.
That's true.
So they have to find me. You know what I mean? They have to do work to talk to me. But I think if they take that out, it will get worse. If they take the fact that you have to do work to direct message someone out, it's going to get worse.
Epic, you ever had any issues with DMs, or people have been pretty friendly, or will they know DJ will come kill somebody? Which one does it fit into?
Yes, all of the above. I like people. I feel like I don't get DMs in games as much because I generally don't have my prompts on. I get DMs on Twitter because I have my DMs put on Twitter because I also do game like writing and stuff like that. So I actually people contact me. But I do get like weird things like a couple weeks ago somebody messaged me, you know about this thing, and I can't remember what they called it. And like, at first it's like a legit conversation. I'm like, oh, good person to be friends with. And then it was like they said a term. They're like, oh yeah, I just wrote an article about, and I thought it was like another journalist. And he's like, this term, and I thought, what does that mean? He's like, young women having sex with older men for money. And I was just like, first of all, I'm not that young. Also, anything I've ever tweeted made you think that would be a thing I would respond positive. I found out the guy was like a jackass and blocked him. But it's like it's very odd because I think about this, and I don't even know if this is the right form for this, but I think about this all the time. Like, but if you're a nice game, not a nice guy, if you're single, is there a way? Because I'm not single, so I don't even really have to think about it. But I'm like, is there a way to tell nice gamer guys how to meet nice girls without being creepy? I don't even know what that.
No, it's frankly almost impossible to reach out to someone via medium of a video game and try to spark a romantic relationship with them and it not be somewhat gross, right? Because you're operating on my avatar. You're not operating on who I am, what I am, how I am, anything about me. You know nothing about me. All you know is that you saw a video game character that you thought was attractive and now you want to speak to me. And that in and of itself is like, I'll pass. That's gross.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Sergeant Stakes talked about the fact that there are some women who literally will play a male character just so that it doesn't draw attention to themselves. Because just and listen, as I mentioned, and Gigi will tell you this, I play a female character in the game, and I love it when guys try to hit on me, like in voice comms, and I say, "How are you doing?" like that, and it scares the snot out of them, right? And they get mad and call me a tranny after that, right? They get all upset, right? But I'm just saying, people will snap. Oh, people have snapped. I mean, just crazy stuff, you know. So here's the now let me ask you this now, because voice comms in Star Citizens is going to be an important thing. Now, obviously, if you're in an org and the people know you, probably not a problem, right? But right now, if you go to, let's say you're on your way to go get your ship, there are other people there and you can hear them talking. Do you avoid talking to people, or if someone says hi to you, do you speak up and say something, or do you just decide to say, nope, I don't know if I want to open that can of worms? Kind of curious. What do you think on that one? Thank you, DJ, for the follow.
I don't talk hardly at all because of that. I also don't particularly like my voice because I'm a very adult woman, but my voice sounds kind of younger than I am, and I just don't want people to like engage with me than what I sound like, and so I most of the time don't have pom-pom, and it's frustrating because a lot of times it would help, but I just like, and it sounds really pathetic when I say this, but I'm afraid it's either going to go one of two ways. Either I'm afraid they're going to be an asshole, like, oh, a girl on our team, or oh, a girl on our team, oh, that's crazy. I don't want to deal with either, so I'd rather just.
Yeah.
Now, my problem, my concern with that, and I mean, I find it very valid. Quantum Bit, thank you very much for the follow. I totally understand what you're saying and why you're doing that. My problem becomes then on my end as a game player, and even on your end as a game player, it may put you outside of the game experience, because you should be able to have those open conversations and speak. Or if someone says, "Hey, I need some help on a mission I'm doing," which people will do, right? They'll just say, "I need somebody to help me with this," or does that because that's a situation. It does limit you, right? You might want to say, yeah, I'd be happy to join you, but now as soon as he hears you're a woman, you know, now you got to worry about, is the guy going to take me on a ship and try to take me behind the moon somewhere? You know what I mean? I mean, is that a reality?
I'm afraid of game rape.
Game rape.
Game asshole, but
yeah.
sorry.
Avoided it in two ways, both of them involving Discord.
Okay.
That you don't necessarily have to talk to people in game yet. And part of the reason is just not wanting to deal with that and go there. But another part of it is I still kind of find the voice controls clunky. And I think it's easier to use Discord.
Yeah.
And also, when you play in Discord and you're playing with people that you know, you're playing with people that you know.
Right.
So you can have that voice communication. You don't necessarily have to talk to people in game. You're talking to people in your own party.
Right. I know when we use voice comms, it's usually because I'm with people in my org, and it is fun to do that. I just hate to think that that could be an aspect of gameplay that women may have to miss out on. And again, if you're with your org or with people of friends, then obviously no problem, right? But there are those casual encounters, like is for example, Star Citizen's designed with this whole social dynamic, right? There's restaurants, there's bars, and you're not always going to be there with your friends. You know, if you're sitting there and someone speaks to you because you're both waiting on cargo to be loaded on your ship, you know what I mean? Do you guys have to live with that kind of hovering over you all the time, that if you decide to open the mic and say, yeah, I'm here too waiting on my ship, you know, that some guy's going to say something kind of rude to you? And I know maybe it's a chance, or maybe the guy may say, hey, that's cool, you know, and that's it. You know, I just, I'm just saying it from the perspective that's something that guys don't have to worry about. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't cross our minds when we push the comms button to talk in game, you know?
I don't use comms unless I'm in org. And that's just what it is. If I'm not in org, my comms are off. Voice comms are just,
unless you know the people.
Because unless I specifically know the people, and like everyone said, you know, a good portion of my friends now are people that I've met in org and people that I've met online and people that I spend a lot of time with in Discord. But if I am playing a game alone, my comms are off, period. And I mean, you know, you say like it's a thing that men don't have to deal with, but the blunt reality of it is there's a lot of things that we go through that men don't have to deal with by way of being women. And asking us how we deal with it there's no real answer to it. It just is life. You know, this is how we've grown up. This is our whole life. Most of us have been playing video games since we were children, and we've been dealing with this since we were children. So it's just what we are in. This is something that we've grown up in. This is our life. This is how we live. Because we don't have a choice. You know, you work for what you want and you live what you have. It's life.
Yeah. I want to hit something that Chip says. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Hartz.
Right, harassment. It's not always harassment. There are a lot of well-meaning guys who just want to play with you. And so you'll pick up people, like if you speak in voice, they're going to want to do whatever mission you're doing, whether or not you want company on. And so you kind of get in-game stalkers in a way who they just want to play with you. But we're also kind of conditioned. There's always a risk in saying no, always, whether it's in-game or out of game. So we're kind of conditioned not to say no and just kind of deal with it. So it's easier to just not get on voice to begin.
Okay. Here's something that go ahead.
Sorry.
Laura. No, you go ahead.
Hi, Rory, and I agree with you guys completely on that. When someone said for me to be strong or brave or something, and I appreciate that, but I don't mean it like I just use the word afraid. When I say afraid, I'm more like I don't want to deal with it. I'm not like scared of someone being mean to me.
Right.
I just want to play the game. I don't want to have to turn on the okay, I'm gonna check you now mode. And I don't want to have to turn on the should I'm not interested or I just want to just be. So when I say afraid, it's not I'm afraid, I just don't want to deal with it.
It's like how most of us have that phone number that we don't use. We only give it out to guys who ask us for our phone number, but we can tell they are not the kind of guy you should tell no when he asks you for your phone number, right? Yeah. So you have that second phone number that you give out so that you can block him right away after he sends you that text message, and so that you can remove yourself from that situation safely, right? It's the same thing. But instead of doing it, we just bypass the whole situation since we have the option. We're just like, period. I don't want to. Yes, girl, Google phone. I have Google Voice. Every single dude that asks me for my phone number gets Google Voice. And then if I decide to like you, I'll give you my real phone number.
Yes.
Let me throw out something Chip 7 throws out here. It's interesting perspective. He says, I also play as a female character most of the time. I was helping someone in the game, and when he saw my female character, he refused to carry on until I clarified if I was a man or a woman. Yep. Wouldn't accept getting taught the game by a woman. And then he says, I tried to get him to explain what was the matter, and you know, whether it mattered if I was a man or a woman, but he couldn't get an answer from the person. Is there some issue out there with that, with men just not, you know, you were mentioning this earlier, Epic, about being better than a guy in a certain game. Is that a factor where if guys don't even think that they can even ask you questions because they don't think that women will know enough about this particular gun or this particular ship, or do they treat you just like anybody else?
I think some men get offended somewhat. Like it's like the opposite of mansplaining when someone tries to mansplain you and then you like show them that you actually know more than them.
And
There's
then
literally
yeah.
there's so many threads about that on Twitter where people tell these stories, and it's like I teach for a living, and I literally have given lectures where a male student will try to explain something to me that I'm literally lecturing about. I have a PhD in, and I'm like,
it's the other way around, where if they know you know more than them, they come up with questions to ask just to keep talking to you.
Yeah.
Oh, true. There's
or they start asking you trick questions because they want to seem like they know more than you.
Or they want to prove that you don't know as much as you say.
You don't know as much as they do, so they try to ask you like trick questions to catch you up or to make you say something so they can be like, oh, well, actually, because they got to hit you with a well, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do mansplainers get their water from?
Man.
From
where? Sorry. That's cool. I love that.
I am just saying it down. That will be you.
Well, ladies, we got a couple questions for you all on from our chat. One of the questions is: do you think a female main character was only added to Squadron 42 as a response to the complaints about? Hold on a second. This is a long question going across my whole spreadsheet here. Do you think a female character was only added to Squadron 42 as a response to the complaints about female characters in Star Citizen? Didn't they only just record voice lines for the female player? That's the first question. I heard that there was a female character added, or a part of it, rather.
I don't think it was a response from the community, like, oh shit, we forgot to add this. I think it was another one of those questions of priorities. Like, we'll do this all with the male character first, and we'll just add the female later once we get all this done.
Okay. And another question from Stellar Valkyrie: do you think women find it intimidating reaching out to an org for membership, since they do have 2 or 3 types that Gigi mentioned earlier? Or do you see women coming in with people they, I guess it says, already know?
Every single org that I'm in, besides the one that I am in with MzHartz, because she's wonderful, is specifically an org that someone that I knew brought me to. I don't reach out to orgs. I just don't. Because for the most part, there's going to be a lot of dudes. And I am a very quiet person when you first get to know me. I know who would have thought that I'd be quiet. But I'm a very quiet person when you first get to know me. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna sit first for a while, you know what I mean, and listen to people and learn people and then decide who I would prefer to interact with. But that's really hard to do as a woman in a male-dominated community because everyone wants to talk to you all the time. And they invite you into things, and it's very sweet, very thoughtful, very well-intentioned. But if you are an introvert, it just doesn't quite, hit you in a comfortable way. And then you are left fielding all these DMs, and yeah, I know y'all can see her playing with my hair. I'm sorry, but
Uber
you can
nerd.
see all
Oh
these
god. Uber nerd.
DMs
Sorry,
and
Uber
things.
nerd's hitting us again. GG. Uber nerd, dude, you are the man. Oh my god. Thank you so much. I got to cut in just for a second. Uber nerd with the drop in of, I don't know how many people he just dropped in here, like 300 and something people. Thank you, Uber nerd. We appreciate that. Dude, so awesome. Uber Nerd Gang, thank you for joining us. You're joining the ladies here. It's Ladies Night on Soul Citizen.
Welcome, everyone.
So welcome.
Nice.
Yes, Ladies Night. Yeah. Admiral Kusanagi asked this question: how would you suggest that women do find people and play the game. I mean, you just mentioned Ms. Hartz. In fact, this is a good time for you to plug your group. Is there a way for women to catch up with folks? That would be very cool. Thank you, Zanatica, for the 100 bits.
So I did this when the female avatar actually came out, where I felt like there needed to be somewhere for especially new female players of the game to go. And dare I use the word safe space, somewhere where they can feel like they're going to get their questions answered and be focused on the game and learning the game and not have to deal with all the other stuff that can come in to gaming. Just for a place for women who are already in Star Citizen to come together to play together.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a Discord called Ladies Night Out. My original intent was to have regular events that we could just get together in game.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been very good at that. Sometimes actually get together in game and have events. But I mean, it's been an awesome group there. We have a couple hundred people in there.
Wow.
It's open to both men and women. It's mostly women. And just knowing, like, I would say we probably have about 180 women in there.
Wow.
Did you know there was 180 women in Star Citizen?
That's amazing. That's great.
Man, right?
I wish we could get them all to the convention. It'd be great to see them that many there. It'd be awesome. I mean, be honest with you, Ms.
We
Hartz.
definitely.
How many people? How many people?
Because I was supposed to go.
Yeah, how many people have we seen at the women at the conventions? Epic, Ms. Hartz. I mean, roughly more than. I don't think I've ever seen more than. I hate to say this, less than 20, maybe 10, maybe. And there's usually about 1,000 people.
More than 10.
CitizenCon, there was significantly more.
And which one?
Life is there.
Yeah, you can name them.
Technopity. Yeah, you're right. I can't name them. That's maybe but
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's not a lot.
Yeah. And Uber Nerd, thank you again. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I actually, forgive me, guys. I'm being an old man. I said 300 people. It was 100 people. Thank you, Uber Nerd. My eyeglasses. I'm reading the wrong number from the screen here. But thank you, guys. Uber Nerd's clan, thank you so much for joining us. It's Ladies' Night here at Star Citizen, Soul Citizens, and the ladies are talking about gaming for women in the universe and in gaming in general. So, yeah, very cool.
Asuna says 136 members.
136.
Because she's awesome in math when I can't.
Wow, cool. That's awesome.
Uber says that they've brought in 7 women.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Awesome.
More friends.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah, I love Technopity.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, and this is going to be like a super dumb male question, but when a woman is hurt in the game, guys, you know, how do we approach you? How do we, if we hear you and we say, hey, it'd be great to have a woman participating in this thing, do we say that? What's the wrong thing to say? Maybe I should ask you that. What's the wrong thing?
Somebody said earlier that what they're hearing us talk about is in a different way as a Black male. So I guess I would say, saw you in a place, most of the time you probably wouldn't want them to just be like, Black man. Nice to see you that you're a Black man. Like, come in and say hi. Not, hey, a woman. Just hi.
Okay. Now, I would say probably just leave me alone. But that's because I'm mean. So don't take that like as a thing to do. I'm just a bitch and I don't like people to bother me. But if you're going to do it, like drop the male female thing. Like she said, just say, hey, you're really cool. I watched you doing whatever you were just doing and you did that really well and I would love to play games with you. This is my org or this is my Discord if you're interested. You know what I mean? But maybe don't be like sex with you even though I've only seen your video game.
You sound really sexy. I bet you're so beautiful.
Right? Like girl, voice is so hot. Like, first of all, I sound like somebody's grown man who just woke up. My voice is nice. Don't lie to me.
That's like, true, but it is hilarious.
All right.
I would say that my rule of thumb is before asking a woman character, avatar, whatever, ask yourself whether or not you would ask the same thing to a male character.
I love and like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me jump back into Star Citizen a little bit here. You guys know Star Citizen's design. All the ladies are having a drink now, guys. That means they're getting ready here. What careers, if you right now that you're favoring in games, something that you would like to be able to do? I know Star Citizen's supposed to have all these different things that people can do. As game players, what are the things that draw your attention in the game? Either what's currently there or what's supposed to come. What are you looking forward to playing?
I've been answering this question for 6 years now.
I get it. Go ahead, Ms. Hartz. That means you already got your answer together.
Okay,
So
I guess I have to say it. So what I always say is I want to play it and see. I really like the idea of medic gameplay, which is kind of not yet, but I don't really want to marry myself to anything until I actually play it. I'm not one to buy very many concept ships. I bought one concept ship, which was the Blade because I like naval ships. But otherwise, I don't really want to make those decisions until I play it. I started out being very combat focused because that's all there was in game. And I've kind of gotten away from that a little bit because there's more things in game to play. But at the same time, there's tons of things I haven't done. Like I mined once and I really enjoyed it, but I don't have any mining ships. So I feel like that's something I need to revisit and see if I'd like it and that sort of thing.
Now, if I'm remembering correctly, Ms. Hartz, rumor has it that you have some slight affinity toward the Vandal. Is that correct?
I do. I'm a Vandal supporter.
And you've got you've got a glaive. Is that what you have? Is it the ship you have?
I have the Blade. Yeah.
Oh, the Blade.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have the glaive because I'm also a cheap ass bitch.
Feel that. Feel that.
Do you like the new designs? Do you like the new designs of the Vandal ships, or do you prefer the older ones?
I do. I like how it looks very Geigerish.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I never thought of it that way, but you're right. It's very organic look to them. Yeah, very cool. Gigi, what about you? If there's something in the game that you're looking forward to, or you've heard about, or is already in game, what's the thing that you dig about Star Citizen? Career-wise.
Well, everybody knows that I'm a miner. If y'all have heard me talking about it, you know that I like to mine. I got my prospector. Me and my prospector, we go out, we do the thing. But I
need to do more of that.
Yeah, definitely. You can jump in. You can always hop in the prospector. I hate driving, so please.
Okay.
But
I want you to teach me how to mine.
Yeah, let's do it. Definitely. I'll give you guys my Discord and we can hop in later and talk about it. But mining, awesome, love it. I very much enjoy that in Star Citizen mining. It is very immersive and it's not just point and click, because a big problem with video games for me is the point and click, because my attention span is not all there, you know? So if you me with the point and click, you kind of just lose me because I get bored and I find myself like watching YouTube videos or scrolling while I'm playing video games because it's not engaging me. But I would love to see some form of like event planning in Star Citizen. That would be great for like that would be the kind of thing I would like to see. You know, and considering that they put
centers,
I will say they have the stadiums, they have the conventions, so there's going to be events. If given the opportunity, that is definitely the career I would take.
Very
I love that.
By the way, sorry, I just want to say something. Quantum and Michelanda del Zello, forgive me for slaughtering your name. Thank you guys for the follow. Go ahead, Epic.
I was just gonna say, for me, I'm waiting for Star Citizen to be like, I really am looking forward to which I know we can do now with a kind of to what you do and with bigger events too. I know this is a total stretch and so much more. But I keep thinking of how easy it is to have these little events in Animal Crossing, like star watching or but like just reasons to get together and person. And I also have a also probably unpopular feminist perspective that I shared with some friends about when we can RP, what if we have a broth? Which is the exact opposite of everything we're talking about women empowerment. Stop objectifying us.
It's great.
However,
you.
Okay, then. So we're on board together then, because I think that would be badass, and so that's what I've been thinking about when I think about Star Citizen RP. And Gigi Asuna said something about wedding planning, which is not exactly, but maybe there's little storefronts.
Yeah. I listen, girl, I'm a firm believer in your body and your agency. Do what you want to do with you.
Let me ask you this. Is there any career, and you kind of alluded to some things that we haven't talked about, is there something you would like to see in Star Citizen that they haven't mentioned? I mean, obviously they talk about salvage, mining, combat. Is there anything that you see that you think would be something to add? I know somebody said event planning, and not to be funny, but I was sharing this on a few days ago on a different show that I remember in Star Wars Galaxies. People did weddings. They literally did weddings. I mean, they would literally hire people, have a whole thing with the maid of honor, the women. Everyone was dressed in the same clothes, and they actually went and did a ceremony. It might sound ludicrous, but it was a part of the social dynamic of the game. Are there some careers or other areas that you would like to see that they make accessible to players, such as making clothing or building something? Is there anything like that you think would be interesting?
I would not mind like working construction. For me personally, I don't do a lot of PvP. That's not how I like to play video games. Just for me, you know what I mean? I tend to be more of a support character kind of person. I tend to be the medic, be the one providing the materials, be the person who's doing something background, which is why I'm not so good on this show, because I'm usually in the background. But I tend to do more things where I don't have to be front and center because I am an introvert, you know what I mean? So I like to be I'm happy when the team succeeds, if that makes sense. Like, it's not necessarily about my success, it's about the team succeeding. And if that's what happened and I contributed to that, then I feel good. Mission accomplished.
Cool. Zenotica mentions here about base building and talking about the pioneer, because that's going to be the thing for construction. That's going to be a big career that folks are building their bases on these moons and planets later. So
and that will be awesome.
When I play The Sims, all I really do is build houses.
Yep.
Building. Okay. Epic, don't mean to catch you in the middle of your drink. Anything in careers wise you think you want to see happen in the game, or something?
I don't know that they can necessarily make a career for a madam. So maybe entrepreneur. Entrepreneur,
yeah, different name. Yeah.
I was looking at
you'll be self-employed.
Yes, exactly. I love it.
Wait. Now, let me go to your point, Epic. Hang on. There are going to be places in the universe that are the less places of ill repute, right? I mean, places where there's going to be gambling, drugs, and do you think that could actually darker than Grimhex, even darker than Grimhex? I mean, do you think that somebody would actually try to create something like that in game?
I totally would, especially if I had friends to help me, and I think I have new friends. So absolutely. A lot of us live like very professional, adult, conservative-ish lives.
Oh God!
And for me, the idea of doing something that is antithesis of my personality is thrilling. It's not just like, oh, that would be cool. I'm like, yes, please give me that opportunity to just be like the opposite. It's just like fucking like Alicia, you know that.
I've been waiting to see it. I've been waiting to see a comment from DJ pop up in this chat. It hasn't popped up yet because I'm wondering if his mouth is open or whether he's going, yeah! I don't know which one he's doing right now. I'm just kind of curious.
Oh, there he is. Oh, wait. Maybe he's not listening.
He's there. No, he says he's there. He's lurking. He says he's lurking. I just wonder whether he heard that coming from you, and it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. That is hilarious. There you go. He says he's behind you 100%. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gigi.
Not the same way with video games. Like, I am the most like pacifist, like non-violent. You know what I mean? Like, we don't all that. But then in video games, like ESO, I'm a thief / assassin / like, you know what I mean? I do everything that in real life. I'm like, no, that's not, because some things that you think are fun are also morally repugnant, right? So you don't do them because, hello, this is real life and we don't do that thing.
Right.
But in video games, you can do the thing without the consequences.
I have a related story.
So you just, I gotta hear the story. I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead.
Dice, hold on a second. Dice, thank you, Dice, for doing that. You gave out 5 subscriptions. Thank you so much. Thank you for the subscriptions flowing in. We really, really appreciate it. And that lucky guy, thank you also for subscribing. Go ahead, Ms. Hart. You said you got a story.
So the first time I played GTA, which I believe was Vice City, a friend would bring his PlayStation over once a week and we'd just game together. And he not only brought GTA over, he unlocked all of the cheat codes. So I could get any car, any weapon, I wouldn't die. And I kind of scared him a little bit.
Oh, wow.
I think it was a baseball bat and just started beating up random pedestrians. Running up anyway. Seeing all the cops chasing me. I just went crazy. And he thought of me a little different after that.
Oh my god.
Had a slightly different
awesome.
view of you. That's hilarious.
The ability to run, like full run while you're sneaking. I kill so many random pedestrians who are just minding their business, going about their day, and I just sneak up behind them and like stab them through the back of the head, and then I take off running in a sneak, and they can't see me. It's so great.
The other night, my brother and DJ and I were playing Red Dead. And we were just going around and killing random people in Red Dead Redemption and running away and then killing more people. And I have not laughed so hard in months.
Oh, God.
I got killed today. Was you?
It might have been. Well, no, this was Friday night. Today is Sunday. That was Friday night. That was me today, but you never know. My name is EpicLaLa Girl, so you'll know. It'll say EpicLaLa Girl.
Okay, well, I'm this episode right there. So, yeah.
Okay.
Dice, thank you again for the 5 subscriptions.
Spare me.
We really appreciate that. The
I
gift
love Red
subscriptions.
Dead. I saw Red Dead online.
Good to see up with you. Yes, Red Dead.
Let me hit you guys with one more question because we're going to get ready to wrap it up for the night. Ladies, you got to think about this one for a hot second because we've been all over the place, and I want to go back to Star Citizen for one quick question. Favorite ship in the game? Ship that you like or the one that you're enjoying the most right now? Which ship would that be and why?
My Avenger Titan.
Avenger Titan, and that's the Penguin. Yeah, what do you like about it?
You know, she's quick, she's agile, and she gets me where I'm trying to go. I'm very much like I don't have a car, but if I had a car, I'd have like a Prius or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm very like, give me something small and maneuverable. I'm not trying to have something big and heavy and clunky. Y'all, I'm 5'3". You know, I'm a small human, so I tend to operate within those bounds. And it tends to carry over into my video gaming. I just like small, agile things.
Gotcha. Okay. Epic, you got anything you favor ship?
I'm going to jump in before Ms. Hartz because she's probably got a great answer. And I only have the... It's my only ship, so I love that.
I missed it. What ship did you say you had?
I have to look. Maybe I'll come back to that.
Yeah, let us know what it is because I'm curious to know what it is. What you got?
I bet it's a Reliant.
I don't think so, but I will tell you after you're done.
All right. We'll go to Ms. Hartz. All right, we'll go to Ms. Hartz. Ms. Hartz.
So I don't have a definitive answer, actually. I have a couple notable ships. We already talked about the Blade. I have 2 ships that I've actually named.
Okay.
The Blade being one of them. It's named Saladade.
Okay.
which is an untranslatable word.
Okay.
It means like being melancholy, but in a happy way.
Okay.
Then I do not currently have the M50 that I'm known for. That I need to rebuy it because it became less viable and I melted it, and I'm regretting that. And my M50, it's called the Militant Hummingbird because I didn't race in it. I fought in it. Because it was small and zippy and people couldn't hit me. But then size 1, size 2 guns don't do much.
Right.
So I have a hard time killing people. So I melted it, and I do kind of miss it. I want the Militant Hummingbird.
Have you seen it with the rework? Have you seen it with the rework yet?
I knew they were reworking it.
It's done. It's out.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, it's in the PTU now. So yeah, check it out when you get time. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have not played the PTU in.
Okay, well, it'll probably be within the next week. It'll be out. So yeah, you might want to take a look at it. It might inspire you to go back and get it, unmelt it. Yeah. Epic, you got it?
Yeah, I've been thinking about unmelting it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Found it. I have the Aurora.
The Aurora, woohoo!
Yes. I've had it since 2016, and I haven't bought any more stuff.
Smart gal.
The MX.
I mean, you still have money in your pocket.
Yeah. Well, I haven't bought any more ships, but somebody else in my house has.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I'm sure he can spawn whatever you'd like, whatever you needed. So there's an advantage.
Once I'm in, I'm strategic. Like that is the benefit, by the way. Like we talk a lot about like this annoyance of like the cheerleader or whatever gamer. But once you're in a relationship with a gamer guy, and they just are so happy that they're in a relationship with someone who actually, first of all, can tolerate the fact that they game, but also like that's next. Then you're like, oh, they're like, so easy to make them happy.
I remember telling this guy that we could play, but he needed his own computer because he couldn't use my computer. And y'all, when I say he was so floored and happy, he was like, "Oh my god, yeah, definitely, of course, like the PC you don't share." And I was just like, it was cute though.
I actually had. Yeah, this is 4 or 5 years ago. I actually had that I played Star Citizen in my dating profile.
Oh, did it catch anybody's eye?
Yes, one person who was not from the area, he just randomly searched, I think it was OkCupid, for any profile that said Star Citizen. And he got 3 women. I'm the only one that replied back to him because reply back if he's specifically searching for women who play Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still talk to him sometimes.
I don't think that worked out well or not. That's
and an agreement was lost.
We never like dated or anything like that.
In
an entirely different state, but
I will say that once you do get to know the gamer guys, there is a big benefit there because like in the Oregon, man, if I hop in general chat and I'm like, hey guys, I want to fly whatever, there's 4 different people who will be like, okay, I'll spawn it right now. Where you at? You know what I mean? And I don't have to buy ships, which is great.
Yep.
It's just the benefit of being in any Oregon general.
Exactly. Sure. Because if I had it, I would do the same thing. It's just being around people who are like-minded. You usually, they're happy to do that thing with you, which is always fun.
MzHartz, I'm going to challenge your statement and say that I think that women probably get 2 more ships more than guys do when that question comes up. I think that you're right. When you're in an org, everybody will help, but I think that there's a chivalry aspect that jumps out as soon as a woman says, "Can you spawn a ship for me?" I think for every 8 ships they'll give me, they'll give you 10. So I think you'll get 2 more than I will.
It depends.
Yeah.
And not so much in Star Citizen, but in other games where you can level up and be given things and be given armor and stuff. Like,
but then you're not prepared.
Given so much stuff, you don't get to play the game.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Which luckily isn't a thing in Star Citizen, but like World of Warcraft. The number of dungeons I was run through. Still playing the game, and I'm there to play the game.
Right.
So
right.
Necessarily,
and then by the time you want to play the game, you don't know how to play the game because you haven't had to.
Exactly. You've been given everything the whole time. So
that's a good
sounds
point.
like but it's kind of a
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, we're not going to go any further because we've had a great conversation tonight. For those of you who've been here with us, we really appreciate you guys hanging out. But before we go, I'm going to ask each of these ladies to share with you a little bit about where you can find them. So, Epic, I'm going to start with you because you're at the top of my screen. Tell everybody where they can find you and what type of streaming you do. Because I saw you, I actually watched your talk show when you were on with a friend of yours, and you guys were just kind of having a chat. It was under Just Chat. It was very, very cool. I actually watched that show. But feel free to tell everybody anything you want about you and your creator side.
Thanks. Well, as a creator, obviously I'm EpicLaLa Girl, and I am super casual. And most of the reason why I do everything that I do in my free time is because I love people and connecting with them. Otherwise, I am isolated watching. So yeah, thanks, Alex. But so I like to do just chatting streams and play games that I can play with friends. So I think I'm gonna start doing some Animal Crossing streams. But I also have an idea that's actually doing an intro Star Citizen stream. So I'm hoping now that I have these two friends, they can be my mentors and help me actually really play the game. I've only dabbled until now.
Happy to.
I'm super excited about this. I've been talking to DJ about this for a couple of years now, that I think it'll be actually fun to have a series of streams where you see someone really just get started, how you progress to not sucking. Because I'm going to be honest,
I'm not sucking. I can't help you.
I mean, but I can tell you so much of this. The first at least 20 times I stream Star Citizen, the most common thing in the chat is going to be like, so I'm not gonna be good at it, but I want to like my friends, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I stream, which is like Tim said, when I actually get myself to stream, the other times I'm supposed to be like writing. So this is my fun. I'm so happy.
Very cool. We hope to see you more in the verse, Epic, because you've been around for a little while. So I know it's a matter of juggling life and everything else, but it's always great to see you in the game. Gigi, what about you? Where can people learn more about you or find you or wherever you want to share?
Well, you can find me on here at theGreenEyedGyal. And you can find me on Twitter at TeGreenEyedGyal. Yeah, you can also find me in Discord, but I'm rarely in my own Discord unless I am there to speak with specific people who have invited to the Discord. So you might get there and be by yourself. But
you've got
like
a unique way of spelling gal too. Could you let everybody know how it's spelled?
Gal is okay. So y'all, I'm Haitian, I'm Caribbean. So Gyal is spelled gel, Gyal. Green-eyed gel. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that saying that out loud would not make sense to people who are not Caribbean when I made that my name. And now I spend my life explaining it.
And last but not least, Ms. Hartz. Uh-oh, we're not hearing you. There we go.
MzHartz everywhere. If there's a social media, I'm probably on it as MzHartz. Because if someone has to stop my name weren't first, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. Streaming myself lately, I think the last time I did was for my birthday. But Tuesday nights, I'm on the base radio with I Want My 80s show. This week is going to be all synthwave. Wednesdays, I am on Burning Questions on Table of Horrors, which is a cast about Vampire the Masquerade. Because Fridays, we stream Vampire the Masquerade. Also on Table of Horrors. This Wednesday night, I'm going to be on the Yacht Club after Burning Questions as well.
Awesome.
Is that everything? That's everything. I'm sure I'm missing something. I have too many hobbies.
Well, that's great. Well, that's great. And the folks at Yacht Club, that'll be great. But make sure you have plenty to drink, though, because, you know, those guys go for 3.5 hours. So be braced for yourself for that night. They run it all night. But that's a great show to be on. Well, again, thank you guys. Ladies, thank you all so much for the time that you put in tonight. Thank you for sharing your heads and your hearts. And CIG, I hope you're listening to these women because they're telling you the real deal. We just lost Miss Hartz. I don't know where she went, but anyway, I know she'll be back. She just jumped out of Discord for a second. But thank you guys for everything that you shared, for the questions that were here. And we got an announcement for next week. We've got a new show that's going to be starting. We said we were going to make the announcement this week. We've got a new show that's starting called Friday Night Live. And so it'll be on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and it'll be a very different show from this one, but it is Star Citizen based, but it's got some other stuff in it too, and it's an interactive show, and we think you guys are going to like it. So if you're free on Friday nights and you're not out at the club, you're not doing anything special, come hang out with us for about an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. We'll see. But this is the first show next week, so this Friday. So help us kick it off in a big way. And there she is. She's back. And we really, really appreciate all the support you gave us. Ops Chief, thank you for those 5 gift subscriptions. We really appreciate it. Black Intellect, you're always here supporting us. Thank you for the 2-month subscription. And ladies, again, to you, I can say thank you. I can't say it enough. It was a great show tonight. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, we'll see you guys real soon. We are going to drop a raid. And Fastcart, I need you to help me out here because there's not one person on my list this week who's listed in my raid channel. So tell me somebody, Fastcart, that we could raid, and we're going to bounce everybody somewhere.
See Red Lair playing Star Citizen, Space Cutlet, Fair Assault.
Fair Assault might be somebody. We haven't done Fair Assault, so maybe we'll do him. Let's see here. Can you give me the full spell on his name? Because I know he spells it uniquely for me to say it in any other way.
FARASALT.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Fastcart, sorry.
Thanks everyone for coming tonight.
This was a great show.
Yes, thank you.
And I was nervous about this, y'all, so I'm glad it worked out.
I was too.
So
I was like, I hardly play Star Citizen. I don't think I'm right. And they were like, anyway.
Stick me on a show with people I don't know and tell me to talk. Let's see how that works.
All right, we are loading up for Fair Assault. Again, thank you guys so much. And here's a little plug for the show that's coming up. Everybody say goodnight to everybody.
Good night.